Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back for another video. I don't really know what today's video is going to be. I think I'm going to do like a glow up with me style video. Yeah, I haven't filmed one of these in ages. I really like them. I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, but I've been feeling a little bit down this week. I've really been not in a good place, and I'm a little bit strange in that. Sorry, I've literally just used a biro to put my hair up, don't even ask. I'm a little bit strange in that making myself look a bit better, so doing a bit of makeup, doing my hair, putting on a cute little outfit, instantly kind of like lifts my mood. So I thought, let's sit here, Saturday, it's about 1 o'clock. Why don't we eat some pomegranate, because I'm not newly obsessed with pomegranate, I've always been obsessed with it. But I'm eating like cartons of the stuff at the moment, honestly. I love it. But yeah, my skin hasn't been great this week. I've just been really miserable this week. Like, I'm just keeping it 100% real. I don't know what has been going on. Something in the atmosphere. I think Mercury's in retrograde right now. It's all playing with me, but it's fine. It's all good. Good things are coming my way, I'm sure. Positive energy. If you guys are new to my channel, then hello, it's so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Georgia May. If you like what you see, then you can hit subscribe, or you can thumbs the video up or leave me a comment. Also, I'd love it if you check me out on Instagram. I'll drop my name in the description box, but it's just GeorgiaMay_XOXO if you want to give me a follow. That's enough rambling. I'm going to be doing my makeup, but do you know what? I'm going to answer some of you guys' questions, because I asked for some questions over on Instagram. I'll try and link, by the way, all the products that I use below. I asked for some, questions on Instagram, and you guys came through with the questions, so let's answer some of them, because otherwise I feel like you're going to be like, why didn't you answer my question? Another thing, I am thinking of doing like a skincare video, but the thing is, and I saw Freya Killen talk about this, my skin has improved so much from like probably since December. It was in such a bad way. But I'm still getting the odd breakout. It's really not perfect. And I feel like these people that do these skincare routines have incredible skin. So I don't know who would want to watch a skincare routine of a girl that doesn't have the best skin. Do you kind of know what I mean? Is that a little bit more realistic? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. But do you know what I mean? I say that way too often. I'm using my iconic London drops. I nearly threw these out the other day, because honestly they are well and truly finished. Like, I've used the whole thing, and then like suddenly a little bit more decided it wanted to come back into my life, so I've kept them around. I love those drops, but they are expensive, but I love them. I've always used them. I like to use them underneath my foundation, because I just like how that looks. So we need to answer some questions. You guys are not here to hear me chat about random shit. How are you? Answer truthfully and honestly. Thank you for that question. I think a lot of the time, a lot of us on here, or just a lot of us as human beings in general, are like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm doing great. Like, yeah, you know, had a bit of a bad week, but I'm fine. And that's kind of the logic. Because obviously everybody is going through things at the moment, and some people's things are really obviously heavy, and some kind of seem a little bit more minimal in comparison to that. I never want to come across like I'm like, oh god, life is so hard, because it isn't, and I live an amazing life and I'm super grateful. But I feel like I should answer this question honestly, because I think that's what you guys want. So I've just had the weirdest week. Like, I don't know, I've been in some sort of like a funk this week. I think it's been hormonal as well. I get really bad, sorry if this is TMI, sorry to any boys listening. Actually, no, not sorry, I don't really care. I get really bad periods, like, as in really bad cramps, like so uncomfortable. And I think my hormone levels during that time are honestly crazy and insane. Like, crazy and insane. I am furious 1 minute, like absolutely livid with the world, and then the next minute I'm like an emotional wreck crying over nothing. So I'm definitely more aware of it within the last like year or two, which I think is a good thing, because then you know it's like not you, it's just your body playing tricks on you kind of thing. But I think that's really just messed with my mind. I also think, I don't know, I think I had this really stupid idea of what would happen when things started to be lifted and this started to end. I'm very much one of those people who's quite positive during the whole lockdown, because I told myself like 3 more weeks and it'll be over, or 5 more weeks and it'll be over. But it's not over for a really long time. Like, it's going to take a while before we go back to normality. I've been alright this week. I've just had a little bit of a low, but I think it's really normal to have these highs and lows with everything that's going on right now. I can't believe I hadn't really had like a low until this week. I can't believe it took that long, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna do a little bit of foundation. The problem is all of my foundations at the minute are way too dark for me. When the weather was lovely, all of my foundation matched me so nice, but as we can see, the tan is fading. So I am struggling a little bit with my foundations, but I will go in and lighten them up with a bit of concealer. Honestly, need to get a lighter foundation. It's because this time of year I'm normally a lot more tanned. I would have been on holiday by now. I would have seen the sun. Just gonna blend this in with a brush. I'm preferring brushes at the moment. I don't know, I feel like they're not grabbing anywhere near as much product as my beauty blender. And they're quite quick, so I'm kind of into the brush life. Have I got a toxic friend story? Yes, I do. I think a lot of people, well, no, maybe not a lot of people. I think quite a few people probably do. Even if that person's still in your life and they're toxic. Like, I feel like some people don't know they've just got a toxic person like just hanging around. Do you kind of know what I mean? And I don't think I've got that anymore at all. I think getting older has definitely made me mature and sort of figure out what sort of people I want in my life. That, you know, you can know someone for 15 years, but that doesn't mean that the relationship is good. It just means you've known each other for a long time. And when I was younger, I think I was made to believe that the longer you know someone, the more they know you and the better the friendship. Not at all. You know, you can meet someone and get to know them really quickly and build a really good, strong core relationship within a couple years, versus maybe people that you've known for 10, 20 years, whatever it is. Toxic, I mean, I wouldn't call it toxic. I don't think it was just quite, two spring to mind. One was probably just more toxic than the other. God, this is so awkward. Like, I don't know. I was, yeah. It's so difficult because I've had experiences in my life that I'm so desperate to communicate and talk about on here, to keep it real with you guys and just have like a really honest relationship back and forth. But I do struggle with this like internal thing in my mind of like, well, that is somebody else's situation, and the way you might view a situation, they might view it completely differently. Like I always say, there's 3 sides to every story. Yours, theirs, and the truth. Do you know what I mean? Because we all embellish our own ideas of what, you know, things that happen. The sort of person that I can't stand is passive aggressive. Anyone that is passive aggressive, and I think a lot of boys don't see this, but a lot of girls do. And these are the sorts of girls that say things to you and you know that they're being nasty, but it kind of goes over everybody else's head in the room, and then when you bring it to everybody's attention, they think you're going crazy, which is so frustrating. It's like they gaslight you and then you look like the crazy person when actually they've said something that was really diggy. So I've definitely experienced that. Like I knew this girl and she used to literally dig me out all the time. Like when I left the table, she'd ask people why I speak how I speak, but my friends speak so well. Is it because of her friends? So kind of like saying, well, the reason I don't speak as nicely as the other people that lived in that area is because my friends aren't as like, you know, eloquently spoken. So I don't speak as well. And like just little diggy comments all the time. Like she would be like, oh my gosh, you wear so much makeup. I wish I could like do makeup. I just hate wearing so much makeup like that. That's rude. That is so rude. Like I would never say that to someone. And yeah, we just had a lot of, it's a long story, guys. But yeah, I've definitely had toxic friends. I mean, I think what people need to learn is not everyone is going to get on with everyone, and that's okay. Doesn't mean you have to have these huge explosive rows. Doesn't mean you need to like have drama all the time. Like it's just the reality. Like I'm sure you guys have worked with people in the past and you've thought, they're not really my cup of tea, or I'm sure your friend's got a friend that you're maybe not a massive fan of. Like, you know, it's just learning like how to kind of be mature with that and not petty. So yeah, not everybody has to get on. I think that's a really bad thing as well that's encouraged at schools. Like, you have to get on with everyone. Like, no you don't. If you don't get on with someone, that's okay. You have to have a huge explosive row, but you know, you can't expect everyone to be best friends all the time, sadly. Yeah, I kind of want to do a little girl talk all about friendships. But I think I'm going to film that with my friend Kayla. So she's an old friend of mine. I've known her forever. She's been on this channel before, so if you're an old subscriber, I'm sure you will know Michaela, or any of you guys that have met me on a night out, I'm sure you'll know Michaela, because we're always out together. And she's been featured on this channel quite a lot. But I want to do like a girl talk video with her, just because I feel like she offers a really different perspective sometimes on things that I don't think about. And she's got so many different friends and so many different friendship groups, and yeah, I feel like she would be a really good person to speak more about with these sorts of things. So I'll definitely bring her on the channel soon. Also, can we talk about this concealer and just how incredible it is? Seriously guys, best concealer. That was Born This Way in the shade Porcelain. Vanilla is more of the colour that's similar to my skin, and then Porcelain is a lot lighter, but these are still my favourite concealers. I've tried Tarte, I've tried loads. I love them. They last forever as well, because I know they are pricey, especially if you typically buy like drugstore concealers, which are just as good, but if you do want to try something a little bit more expensive, they do last such a long time. I mean, how much product's in here? There's 30 millilitres in that foundation, and then there's 15 millilitres in this concealer. So you're getting half the amount of a foundation. I think it's quite good for a concealer. Someone has asked, can girls in relationships have male friends? Yes. She was like, my boyfriend won't let me. Now, that is a little bit like, won't let you. That's a little bit of a red flag. Like, you can't tell someone what to do. He needs to trust you. Do you know what I mean? If he loves you, you've got a good relationship, he needs to trust you. If you had said like, he's not keen on the idea of me having boyfriends, then I'd be like, okay, I can empathize with that. Like, I know if I had a boyfriend and I text him on Wednesday and I said, oh, what are you up to? And he said, oh, I've gone to dinner with Shelley. I'd be like, eh? What? Like, I wouldn't be overjoyed at it. Now, maybe that makes me crazy and jealous and a really bad person and controlling, and I need to work on that part of myself. Or maybe that's just human nature. You know, if you like someone and you're into someone, the idea of them going out with somebody of the opposite sex, even if they are just friends, isn't necessarily something you're going to be like jumping for joy at. You kind of have to assess it though. Like, you know, if they really are friends, what's the big deal? It's if you genuinely are not sure that they're friends, if you think something else is going on. Really difficult, isn't it? Because it's like, I don't know, I've got a couple guy friends that if I met a boyfriend or I met a guy that I was seeing and he had an issue with me hanging out with them, like, I know that would really bother me. Like, why? Like, because I've literally grown up with these guys, like, they're literally my friends. There's no there's nothing else going on. But then at the same time, I also know of people or situations where maybe somebody was a friend and then you kind of cross that line, you cross that boundary. So yeah, I think it kind of depends about their relationship status, like if they're with someone and they're happy. But I don't know, you know those situations where like you kind of know, you look at a friend and like she's got a guy friend and you know like he's in love with her, or you know that she's in love with him, or something like that, like you can see it in front of you. Those situations stress me out because it's like everyone kind of knows around them and like their own partners don't, and it's a little bit awkward. But it's such a difficult one. I think stopping someone from doing something is never a good thing. You know, that's never going to work out well. I think you maybe need to sit down and have a conversation and say, look, what are your issues with this? Why does it bother you? Is it because you don't trust me? Is it because you think he is untrustworthy and you think he's interested in me? Would it make you more comfortable if you hung out with us, you know, and you saw that we were friends, or we did group things and you could see our relationship a little bit more? Like, I think sometimes when people see that people are just friends, or there's literally no flirtiness or whatever it might be, then maybe that kind of makes them feel a little bit more reassured. When I think about this, sometimes I'm like, my mum doesn't really go out for dinner with another guy, because I think my dad would probably be like, what are you doing? So it's really difficult to know what's appropriate and what isn't. And I think this is something that is so personal to each relationship. Like, individuals are going to have their way of doing things that maybe other people don't do the same, and that's just what they're comfortable with. So if you have a friend that you're friends with and you want to hang out with, you need to make sure your boyfriend knows that he cannot tell you what to do, honey. Still like respecting him, you're not being disrespectful, you're just not letting somebody else tell you how to live your life. I've stupidly brought the wrong powder in here. So let's do a little bit of bronzing. I'm going to use this palette. So I got this in like a glossy box calendar and I love this. It's the Tarte Park Lane Princess little contour thing. and I love it so much. It's so easy as well, like on the go. I quite like the colour angle because it's quite warm. And let's pop a little bit of this on the cheeks. Oh, probably a little bit too much. Someone said, what do you do if a boy was saying he really, really likes you but leaves you undelivered for ages? So I've kind of had like similar sort of situations where I thought someone's given me the vibe that they were really interested in me. We either went on like quite a few dates, or I don't know, like I just got that vibe. Like I like saw them on a night out and they were like giving me that kind of flirty vibe, and then they've not been like great messaging me or communicating with me, and I've been like, oh, so were you A, not interested, and it was just an in the moment kind of thing, which definitely is a possibility. Are you B, like not really sure where your head's at and you just keep changing your mind? Or are you just kind of crap on your phone? Like I am genuinely shit on my phone. Like that's putting it nicely, to be honest, guys. Like my friends have to call me like 5 times before I answer the phone. It's just one of my weaknesses. I've never been great. The only thing is with that whole excuse, like, oh, maybe they're awful on their phone. When I am interested in someone, when I fancy someone, when I really like someone, I am not crap on my phone. I'm good on my phone. I'm checking my phone. That's the only issue with that argument. I'm like, is it legit though? Because when you really like someone, you're not really messing around, are you? So I don't know, like I think that's quite difficult. I think you kind of, right now it's really difficult as well because like we're not seeing anyone in person. So it's like, how do you know if they're airing you or if they're just a little bit crap on their phone and no one's seeing anyone at the moment? I think kind of see how it is over the next few weeks. Maybe you reach out to him. Like I think sometimes with guys, they feel like they're constantly the ones that are doing all the graft. You know, take things into your own hands. Like if you want something to go somewhere, take the bull by the horns. The right phrase? I've had that so many times where like guys that I've liked or fancied have just never really conversed with me, and I've been like, okay, so that's the end of that situation. So it's really, really difficult. I am just struggling so much at the minute, guys, like to meet anyone, to find anyone that I vibe with. Like I do not know what is going to end up happening for me, but you know, you've got to just roll with it. Lots of people asking me if I miss Misha and Em. Absolutely, I miss those girls so much. Also, just like with regards to work, like it really breaks up our work routine, you know what I mean? We film together, we like sit and answer emails together, maybe we have brunch and we chat about work, or you know, just things like that. And just not having that has been very, very lonely. And obviously also on a friendship level, things have been really lonely just because I spend so much time with those girls. So I've definitely missed the pair of them so stinking much. I cannot wait until we can go out for a drink, let our hair down, just, yeah, enjoy life again. Do you know what I mean? Do you ever get hate? And if you do, how do you deal with it? So I feel like I've been really lucky. Oh, have I just dug myself a hole? I know that I've never had like overwhelming amounts. I've definitely had moments where it's been heightened. So during the first initial thing with COVID, there was definitely a lot of tensions running high, and I know that people felt certain types of way. And while I was struggling to get home, I was getting messages from people like very aggressive. And then I got home and I got some like sad news about a family member who had sadly passed away. So that was kind of difficult because like nobody knew what was going on in my personal life. But yet everyone was quite angry on social media, which was the first time I'd ever experienced like a larger amount of hate. So that was kind of odd because I wanted to get home as well, you know, and yeah, I don't know. So that was kind of difficult. But besides that, I feel like I've been so lucky. Don't get me wrong, I get the odd comment, I get the odd DM, I get all kinds of things, but I kind of take it all with a grain of salt. So yeah, I think some people think you need to do or behave in certain ways on social media, and it's like you can post whatever you want and make people believe whatever kind of narrative you have going, but you could be a completely different person offline. And I think that's the scary thing with social media, is people just believe what they see at face value, and I'm kind of not really one of those sorts of people. So yeah, I'm gonna put a favourite feature on yourself, and I think I should answer this because so I don't know if any of you guys follow Megan Short, but she's great. She does like a lot of hauls and stuff like that, and like a lot of funny kind of videos with her family, and she's fab. And the other day she showed on her story, Facebook has this thing now where as creators we can reply to you guys' comments with kind of like generated replies. So YouTube will suggest like 3 different replies to a comment, and you can sometimes click on that and just post that reply. So say someone says like, I love your hair in this, they'll give you like 3 different options, like thanks so much, thank you, have a great day, and you can like click one of them. Anyway, someone had given Megan a compliment on her YouTube channel, and one of the options YouTube, well, all 3 of the options YouTube gave her as a reply were all like, no I don't. Someone had written something like, you have a really tiny waist or something, and all of the replies were like, no I don't, why would you say that? I definitely don't, but thanks anyway. Like all of them were basically like rejecting the compliment. Like how interesting is that? Like YouTube is encouraging us not to accept compliments, not to just be like, oh thank you so much, you know, and boost our self-esteem a little bit. So I don't know, I just thought that was so interesting. So I want to answer this question because I feel like it's something a lot of us do not talk about, things we like about ourselves, not always things we hate about ourselves. So what I've grown to quite like, which I actually used to hate, is my nose. So I used to hate my nose. I used to like say, oh my god, it's like a ski jump nose. I hate how it turns up at the end. It's got like quite a bobble on the end. I don't know how well you guys can see. Well, I'm doing my like side profile, so I think you guys can see. But I've really grown on my nose. Like I think it fits my face. Yeah, I don't know, like I've grown to quite like it, but it was definitely something that I didn't like when I was younger. Like I was like, oh my god, ski jump nose, ski jump nose. Now I think it's kind of sweet. So yeah, I've grown to like my nose. That's a feature of myself that I like. Felt good, felt kind of strange, but it felt good. Next up, I'm gonna throw on some mascara. I don't know if any of you guys know this, but my lashes have never just been the best. But in lockdown, I've been using like an oily makeup remover, been trying to use like lash thingies and like just trying to help my lashes a little bit. And I got sent this mascara. Sorry, that's my dog crying. Normally when I'm sent mascaras, I can never use them because I've got lash extensions on, but so I have to use them on my lower lashes. This mascara is amazing. Like honestly, I am so obsessed with it. It's like lengthening but not clumpy. Like it's really nice and black. I really like how it makes my lashes look. I can imagine it's quite spenny. It's the Marc Jacobs mascara, and it's in, I don't know what this sort of one is called, but it's the black and gold kind of packaging. By the way, how good is this mascara? I love it. Do I feel confident being a size 12? Yes, I do. I definitely do. I'm definitely in between. I'm definitely one day a 10 in one top and a 12 in another, and I'm never like a set size. And you know, I think that's one thing as well, is every single store, doesn't it? Their sizing is completely different to the next. Like you just don't know what size you're going to be until you try the item on. But I remember when I was kind of like first like got that size or became that size, you know, when I was growing up or whatever, I was definitely like, oh, like I always thought of that as like a larger size, which how crazy and insane is that? That's how my logic was. But I definitely have times, like I've spoken about this before, I think on my YouTube channel, where it was for a friend's birthday and everyone had to send off their pyjama size on a group chat, and this is with girls that I had never even met before, and everyone was like a size 6, a size 4, a size 8, a size 6, a size 8, like those were the kind of the standard sizes. And then I was like, can I have a size 12? And I don't know, it was the first time in a while where I kind of felt that sense of like, whoa, like is that a bad thing, you know? Kind of crept into my mind, and I was like, no, I want the bloody pajamas to look good and I want them to fit me. Like what would be the point of me asking for a smaller size and feeling so uncomfortable and then pulling them down? It's ridiculous. Also, do I think for a second any of those girls were even taking notice of what size I was? No, they just wanted me to hurry up and answer the question so that they could order the bloody pajamas. So a lot of these things are totally in our own heads. Like I've spoken about this with my friends before. When we see girls like walking down the street, we never look at them and go, oh, that looks like a great pair of jeans on that size 8 girl. Like, no, we're just like, oh, those jeans are really nice on her, or oh, I love that girl's shoes, or that's how we think. So it's all about kind of just changing how you think and stopping yourself from demonizing certain sizes, because it can get very, very toxic when you get on that bandwagon. I really don't recommend it. Like, be kind to yourself, you know? I'm gonna link below my most recent like body confidence kind of video where I spoke about this quite a lot, because I think maybe some of you guys might find it interesting. I get asked a lot, like, are those real freckles? No, they are not. But I do have real freckles on my nose and here. When the sun comes out, they really come out, but then they like vanish. The minute the sun vanishes and my tan vanishes, they seem to disappear as well. So on my highlight, I'm gonna use an old fave. This is the Mary Luminizer. Does anyone remember this? I found it the other day. Probably shouldn't use it because it's probably out of date, but I really like it. So I'm gonna use that for my highlight, just on the tops of my cheeks. And it kind of clings to that area where we put the Iconic London drops, because it's a little bit tacky there because I haven't really powdered that side of my face. So it kind of helps to make it last a little bit longer. So we're back. I'm gonna start by sectioning out my hair. So I've literally just put this top section up, and I'm gonna spray heat protectant on my hair. The one that I'm using is the Beauty Works one. I really like this heat protectant, but obviously use whatever the heck you guys want. Now, I did do a video showing you guys the Dyson and kind of using it, but a lot of you said that you didn't feel like it was in depth enough and you kind of want me to just go back over it. So that's what I'm gonna do. It comes in this really lovely little travel case. Well, it's not really a travel case, is it? It's like a storage kind of case. And then you lift this up. Oh. And it has this little like mat thing, so I'm just gonna pop that on there. And then this is what it has. You guys really can't see, but it's very, very heavy. It comes with the Dyson itself, and on the back it has like a little clicker thing, so you just snap the different appliances on and off. So it does come with like a hairdryer attachment. If you want to dry your hair or what have you, you can just use that. It comes with these round brush attachments, which is really, really lovely if you want to kind of create more of a bounce. You've got these ones if you want to like smooth out your hair, maybe if your hair is a little bit more curly than mine. And then it's going to come with the different attachments to create more of like a curl or a bounce. So you have the larger ones and the smaller ones. I'm going to use the smaller ones because it does drop, so I'd rather kind of create a tighter curl if it's going to drop. A lot of you guys are asking me what's the difference between this and like a curler. I still use my curlers and I still love them. They are going to do very different things for you. A curler is going to create more of like a classic curl. This I feel like does more of like a bounce to the hair, adds volume to the hair, and I don't feel like it's as bad for the hair. That might sound crazy, just it doesn't get as hot as like a curler is going to get, like 200 degrees, and like your hair just is sitting on it. Same with like a flat iron. This is more like hot air, if that makes any sense. So yeah, it does leave the hair feeling very nice and a nice finish to it. So yeah, that's just my little synopsis. I'm gonna crack on and show you guys how I use it so that you can see what you make of it. It is very, very pricey, but I think if you're going to buy it maybe from somewhere like John Lewis or something, or you have more of a guarantee. Yeah, that's all I've really got to say overall. Any questions, leave them below. Like I said, all I've put in is some heat protectant and a little bit of like an argan oil when I got out of the shower. But I'm going to give it a whirl and we can see what we think. I'm going to take a section about this big, and it should kind of naturally grab the hair. You'll see what I mean. You can change the heat setting, so you can have it on the highest, the medium and the cool, or when you're doing it you can lock in the cool. So once you've turned it on, you can push it up further and it's gonna like lock in the cool air. So let's give this a go. So it's gonna create these kinds of curls and you're gonna freak out, but trust me, it drops. I know what you're thinking, oh my God, have you lost your mind? What? But the reason why I do them so kind of tight and leave them like this until I finish my hair is because they are going to drop, and it's not creating like curls, it's creating more of like a bounce. So that's why I like to use the kind of tighter one, the smaller barrel, which looks like this, versus the larger ones like this, which you can obviously use if you want. It kind of just depends what you'd rather go for. So you're probably thinking, what on earth, this looks crazy, which it does, but I'm gonna go and hairspray this and I'm gonna leave this. So I haven't got anything to do for the next like 5-10 minutes, so I'm actually gonna leave my hair like this, and then I'm gonna kind of go through it with my fingers. But while they're still a little bit warm, I don't want to break up the curls too much. There is a tool, so there is like an option on here. Essentially, it's off, then it's heat, and then it's cool. And this is what I was trying to explain before, but I don't think I was doing a very good job of it. Once you've kind of used it and sort of, you know, used the heat, obviously, I recommend just going up to the cool, because that's meant to kind of lock the curl in a little bit. But what I like it for mostly, it's less for curling and it's definitely more for creating volume and bounce and more of like a blow dry effect to the hair. So for a curl, and if I had all my extensions in and like all my tapes in or something, you know, I would still stick to a curler, traditional curler, but it's not going to give you kind of like a blow dry look, whereas this is more so. Kind of depends what you want. I mean, if you've got longer hair though, you definitely will be able to create proper big bouncy curls with this, because I've seen Freya Killen do it. She has longer hair, she just has the slightly longer attachments, if that's something that you want to do. But yeah, I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna do my lipstick and let's pop that on. For my lip liner, I'm gonna use this one in the shade, oh sorry, Los Angeles. This is a lip liner that I get from NYX. It's the one that I use all the time. I think this little one is also in Los Angeles. Yes, it is. It just needs to be sharpened, so I'm gonna use this new one. It's my favorite lip liner and it's from NYX, and NYX do my favorite lip liners. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna literally, quite dark, if you guys can see. Get a little moustache. So that is the lip liner. Now you can add a lipstick if you want, but I use the lip liner as my lipstick. I'm actually going to use the one that is a little bit less sharp. And I kind of just bring in on the sides the colour a little bit. So I have quite a defined Cupid's bow, but I don't like it that much. So I just go kind of straight over that. So that's just kind of the lip shape I prefer, but I know some people really like to accentuate that. And that's when a sharp lip pencil would be really good, because you could really kind of highlight that. So I at times actually leave my lip liner like this. Sometimes I add a little bit of lipstick to the centre of my lip, but sometimes I really like just wearing lip liner. I think it makes your lips look so much more full. I am going to go in and add a little bit of gloss. So the gloss I'm going to use is the Fenty Beauty Fussy. I really like the new one as well that I bought the other week. I can't remember what that's called, but if ever you're wondering what gloss I've got on, it's always Fenty Beauty Fussy. I'm just going to hop a little bit centre of the lip, and it's quite pink. And sort of blend it out like that. And that is the lips and the makeup. So now the hair's kind of cooled a little bit. I'm still gonna add a little bit of hairspray to it. I am super softly gonna just take my fingers and sort of brush through the hair. I just don't want to disrupt too much of that volume up top, but so yeah, that is after. They are going to drop even more throughout the day, but it just does create a really nice amount of volume. It kind of lifts this section of the hair. It's kind of allowing me as well to stop wearing my extensions and depend on them as much as I normally would. And I overall, I actually love this. I know it's not going to be everyone's thing, and I know it's very expensive, so it's something you really have to kind of weigh up how often you would use it. I mean, every time now I dry my hair, I kind of use this in one way or another, because it means that I can have my hair styled for like 3 days and not have to use heat every single day. So I kind of use this and then I don't really use anything for a few days. So overall, I'm a big fan. Any questions that you have that you feel like I haven't answered, leave them below. I'll also drop my morning routine down there, just if you want to see how I used it the other day. It's definitely something that I'm really enjoying using, and I really like the kind of hair that it creates. I am going to throw on an outfit, so I'll come back and kind of join you guys when I pop my outfit on, but this is the finished sort of hair and makeup. I don't think I'm going to add anything else. And I'm going to go to the park and have a Pims in the park, so I'm very excited. I thought I'd come on here and just kind of finish up this video, show you guys what I've popped on. So unfortunately I can't actually link this dress, and it's so lovely. Let me just stand on the bed. Hopefully you guys can kind of see. It has this really nice little split down one side. Yeah, it's so cute. But I got it a few years ago from like a little store in Orlando. The store's actually called Threads, so I'll link the store website below, because they do the most gorgeous pieces, but this is a couple years old. This necklace is from by Shake, and it just has my little initial on, and then this is my grandma's engagement ring. Literal standard rings like Tiffany. I can't remember where I got that from. I think I got it from like a market. And then the Tiffany one that M got me. Little pearl earrings, very simple. No bracelets or anything today, and that is it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, leave me a comment below. Don't forget to hit subscribe, check me out on Instagram, and I'm really out of breath. I will catch you guys in my next video. I hope you have a lovely, lovely day.